Today I'm going to show you how to make perfectly round, beautifully puffed up, super soft rotis. This is a step-by-step guide where I'll go through everything in detail, how to make the dough, the technique I use to roll my rotis, and how to cook them right. So let's start with the dough. To a wide bowl, add chapati flour, then add a bit of oil and rub it into the flour till you have a sandy light texture. Oil isn't essential. Some recipes use it, some don't. I do because I think it makes the rotis softer. Boiling water goes in next. Use the measurements I've given here as a guide only, because the amount of water your flour and my flour can absorb will be different. So I suggest you add a little less first, then add the rest as needed. It's important to note that flour can absorb more water when it's hot than when it's cold. So use these measurements only with boiling water. If you use this quantity with lukewarm or cold water, you'll end up with soup. And that's why I prefer to use boiling water in my recipe, because the higher the water content in the dough, the softer the rotis will be. Initially use a fork to mix the flour and water together. Then once it's cool enough, go in with your hands and knead the dough for 2 to 3 minutes or until the dough becomes smooth, non-sticky and pliable. If the dough continues to remain sticky, even after a few minutes of kneading, then sprinkle little bits of flour at a time until it becomes a workable consistency. Once the dough is nice and smooth, form it into a ball, coat it with oil, cover it and let it rest for 30 minutes. After the dough is rested, it will be soft but not sticky and easy to work with, as you can see here. Now we can make the dough balls. Grab a golf ball sized piece of dough, and if you want to be really accurate, mine were 35 grams each, and shape with the heel of your palm like I'm doing here. You want to bring the outside of the dough into the centre of the ball. Keep going round until you've brought all of the rough edges to the centre and the whole of the outside of the ball is crack free. Press down to flatten the ball, then repeat until the remaining dough is finished, and this amount of dough will make about 10 rotis in total. Cover with a damp towel, and now for the roll-in. You can either roll directly onto your work surface or onto a rolling board like I'm doing here, which I like to use because it gives you a good guide for shape and size. For roti making, I also like to use the Indian style rolling pins, which are thicker in the middle and thinner at the ends. A standard rolling pin will work fine too. I just find the Indian ones help with rolling the rotis round. Put some extra flour in your bowl, then take a dough ball and press it down into the flour on both sides. Place it onto your work surface or rolling board and flatten it down a bit more. Now the easiest way to get a round roti is to keep your dough moving in a circular motion as you roll. You do this by putting light pressure on one side of the dough, then bring the rolling pin back through the centre. You need to put only very light pressure, don't be heavy-handed, otherwise the dough will stick to the surface. Imagine you're stroking the dough, that's how soft you want to be. I'm doing it slowly and slightly overemphasising it here so you can see the motion. Okay, let me speed it up. It's hard to see the action now, but I'm doing exactly what I did before, just at speed. Lightly dust with flour if the dough stops moving freely and roll it until the roti is around 16 to 17 centimetres round. The size is based on the dough ball being 35 grams in weight. Don't use too much flour while rolling, otherwise you'll dry out the dough and make the rotis hard. Now time to cook. Turn the heat to just over medium and let your pan get hot. Once hot, put your roti on the pan and cook it until it changes colour and small bubbles appear on the surface. It should take around 20 to 25 seconds. Flip it over and you should see a few very light brown spots. Now let it cook for a further 20 to 25 seconds. This time you'll see slightly larger bubbles appearing, and when these bubbles stop coming up, it's time to flip again. This time you should see slightly bigger brown spots evenly spread across the surface. Let the roti puff up, and when it stops puffing up by itself, gently press the puffed up areas to encourage the rest of the roti to puff up. Again, this should take no longer than 20 to 25 seconds. And there you have it, perfectly round, beautifully puffed up, super soft rotis. Top with a bit of butter, cover with a cloth and store in an airtight container. Now grab a pot of your favourite curry and enjoy.